This CFTR News Update is brought to you by Mazda. It just feels right.
Good evening from the CFTR Newsroom. I'm Mike Lee Gore. Day one of life without the TTC, and already not only is traffic ground to a halt, but so have the talks. The mediator met with both sides, the TTC and the Amalgamated Transit Union workers, but it didn't last very long. He came out of those meetings after just a couple of hours saying neither side is willing to budge, and it will be at least the weekend before he'll meet with them again. But neither side is optimistic that this whole thing can be drawn to a close anytime soon. It looks like it's going to be a long strike. Of course, all the streets in Metro were paralyzed with lots of traffic and bicyclists. It turns out the police were facing something they didn't anticipate. That was people parking their bicycles all over the place. They chained them to, of course, the normal parking spaces for bikes, and when they ran out, chained them to everything else, including office doors and apparently doors on cars as well. Those bicycles, of course, were confiscated. You should allow at least 2 extra hours to get into Metro tomorrow morning. This strike, as I said, isn't going to end anytime soon. Talks won't start again until the weekend. Toronto weather, a beautiful night for a walk, considering that's pretty much all we can do anyway. A low of 12. Here comes the clouds tomorrow and a high of 24. Rain for the weekend. It is 18 Celsius in Toronto. From the CFTR Newsroom, I'm Mike Lee Gore for Channel 47, Cable 4.
NBC Premiere Week is coming, and Barbara's got a plan to change her life.
I'm gonna have a baby.
You're gonna have a what?
The Empty Nest season premiere, NBC next Saturday. NBC Premiere Week starts Sunday with the adventures of Mark and Brian.
We could die.
This week, they go weightless.
We could vomit.
Then it's Erie, Indiana, the show TV Guide says the whole family will enjoy. And 2 of TV's greatest return for one great new hour of laughs.
It's the American way.
James Garner in Man of the People, and Robert Guillaume in Pacific Station. Then, looking for a little angel, they found Hell on Earth.
We've adopted Satan.
John Ritter, the network premiere of Problem Child. A stellar night of premieres and comedy on NBC Sunday. Wednesday on NBC Premiere Week, an all-new Quantum Leap, 4 years in the making. Sam finally returns home to the future and his forgotten love.
I love you, Sam.
This is the leap you never thought you'd see. Will he give it all up to save a friend?
I can't let him die.
And I can't let you go.
A must-see Quantum Leap, NBC Wednesday. Coming Tuesday to NBC. It was just 35 years ago that he rode into our hearts. Today, he continues to live on in our memories. In never-before-seen footage, family and friends celebrate the life of a man who inspired us all. Michael Landon, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
A Current Affair, weeknights at 7, only on Channel 2.
Monday, it's NBC Premiere Week. On an all-new Fresh Prince, the family takes on Bel Air Bullies.
Get ready to rumble!
Plus, a Fresh Prince bonus, the premiere of his new video. Then it's a big decision for Blossom.
I'm thinking of going to second base.
Blossom season premiere after Fresh Prince, NBC Monday.
Well, I must say you got it together finally. You look pretty good.
What happened to you?
Me, I got dressed too early. I peaked. I've got nothing left to give, nothing to say. I'm down. I'm whipped.
And Notre Dame lost.
Thanks a lot for that shot. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I feel great. I got lots to give.
Wait a
We'll be
minute,
coming
I'm
up
feeling
next
better.
From Atlantic City
I want a
Live
part of
on
this
NBC.
show. Feeling good.
NBC Premiere Week starts Sunday with Erie, Indiana, the show that may change the way you watch TV.
It ain't natural.
Why? Because the critics call it the best reason ever to tune out 60 Minutes.
Enough said.
As TV Guide says, don't miss this show. Erie, Indiana premieres NBC Sunday. It's not just a town, it's a trip. James Garner premieres in Man of the People, NBC Sunday.
From your 24-hour news station, this is a Channel 2 News Update.
Good evening, I'm Steve Brown. A Wisconsin prison escapee who's been convicted of murder is back in jail in Toronto. U.S. authorities have persuaded a judge to start extradition proceedings for Laurencia Bembanek, who claims she's innocent and wants asylum in the U.S. The 10 semifinalists for the Miss America pageant have been selected. Miss New York is among them. And in preseason hockey action, the Sabres lose their preseason opener 5-2 to Washington. Next news after the pageant on Channel 2, your 24-hour news station.
She had a problem.
You're a dead woman.
Now, to stay alive, she's got to pretend she's married to this cop.
This is my little woman.
P.S. I Love You. World premiere movie Sunday.
Are the women better campers than the men?
My bush big enough?
No.
Get out in the road. Look friendly.
On the season premiere of Evening Shade. Then there are major changes.
Good morning, Polly.
On Major Dad.
I'd kill for a cup of coffee, John. Right now, what I need is a strong cup of joe.
2 season premieres not to be missed. Monday on CBS.
Can a prince who has everything
Why can't I find my own wife?
find true love?
I worship the devil.
Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy are coming to
America.
Tuesday.
Only 4 days to the royal family on a Red Hot Wednesday. Those designing women are fixing to start a brand new season.
This is too much excitement. I'm going to have to lie down.
They're going to knock your socks off and a whole lot more. The season premiere of Designing Women, Monday.
Tuesday, a heart-stopping rescue in the New York subway.
When I looked up, you could see the lights coming on the rail.
The new season premiere of Rescue 911, Tuesday.
This is CBS.
This is a Channel 4 news break.
Good evening, I'm Rich Newberg. Are there more border delays in the offing? Will Canadian customs inspectors walk off their jobs? Well, their union president in Fort Erie tonight said he'd like to see a strike by all of Canada's federal workers. In Niagara Falls, a PCB spill poses some real problems during a disaster drill on the airbase. And the candlelight vigil in Western New York tonight remembers those still missing in action in Indochina. Join us at 11. We'll see you then.
Candid Camera, 7:30 weeknights beginning Monday on Channel 4.
Well, of course, Cabot Cove is still home, but I took this apartment in New York for a change for the theater. The proximity to my publishers. And to teach criminology at Manhattan University. On the other hand, some things never change. I'll see you soon.
Don't miss the season premiere of Murder, She Wrote, Sunday.
Win one of 10,000 Walt Disney World vacations or a $1 million gold MasterCard. Play the CBS Kmart Primetime Payoff. Play tomorrow.
In the news tonight, will Canadian customs agents walk off the job? Their union president says it could happen. A Western New York candlelight vigil tonight, remembering our soldiers still missing in Indochina and remembering a Polish hero of America's revolution. News 4 Update is coming up.
Run! It's a red alert when the grandkids run over a red fox.
I'm only 4 years old.
You eat like you're 30.
The royal family. Then it's red hot fun at Winthrop.
Guess who's coming to class?
When Rockin' Teach Gibson shows up.
Take you to my barber, let him carve little lightning bolts in your head.
4 days till Teach and the royal family on Red Hot Wednesday.
This is CBS.
And now, Western New York's award-winning newscast. This is News 4 Buffalo at 11. With Rich Newberg, Mary Beth Roble with weather, and Chuck Howard with Big Board Sports. We're News 4 Buffalo.
Good evening. Imagine this. Massive tie-ups at the Peace Bridge, the Lewis and Queenston, Rainbow, and Whirlpool bridges. That and billions of dollars in lost business on both sides of the border. Well, if Canada's Public Service Union cannot come to an agreement with the government, a union leader says he'd like to see all federal workers go on strike. News 4's Milas Hairston has more on a strike that could cripple Canada.
Despite a nationwide strike and picketing by many public service employees in Canada, traffic is moving right along on the Peace Bridge tonight. That wasn't the case earlier this week when a slowdown at customs caused a massive backup of trucks and cars waiting to cross the border. Public service workers say the government should pay them more money. A freeze this year and 3% raises the next 2 years isn't winning approval from protesting workers.
I wouldn't say that this is what they deserve, but I would say this is what the country can afford.
However, Canadian union leader Darrell Bean feels it's just a matter of time before workers get what they want.
Keep it up. You're doing a tremendous job, so just hang in there and everything's going to come around. They got to negotiate sooner or later.
But workers don't want to wait until later. Their protests have caused delays and forced some air travelers to walk long distances with their luggage to airports. Nationwide picketing and strikes have caused problems for both the federal government and businesses. And one local union leader says the problem could get much worse before it gets better.
In my opinion, in order for 110,000 to do an illegal act, to defy legislation, you're going to have to get the 45,000 who are designated to walk out as well.
And those who've already walked out may be faced with a back-to-work order that is currently sitting in the Canadian Parliament and may be voted on as early as Monday. Milas Hairston, News 4 Update.
Back on this side of the border, crews are cleaning up a PCB spill at the Army Reserve Center on the Niagara Falls Air Base. That spill happened late this afternoon when a transformer fell off a forklift. The transformer cracked open, spilling cancer-causing, PCB-laden oil into a sewer. The sewer line was plugged in time to keep the chemicals contained. 3 people were taken to the hospital to be examined for PCB exposure. And right across the airfield, a disaster drill was held this afternoon. The joint U.S. and Canadian exercise was designed to simulate an air crash similar to the Sioux City, Iowa air crash of 2 years ago. Those victims were scattered across the airfield with a variety of injuries.
There's probably 30 different fire engines. There's at least 50 different ambulances. There's probably 200 to 300 people here, and they're all trying to come together to see if we can respond effectively to a major air crash. When I say major, there's about 350 victims here, and they're wounded and they're dead. Some are dead.
Crews from Erie and Niagara counties and from southern Ontario were on hand to provide first aid. Now, all these injuries were simulated, but one rescue worker was overcome by the heat and had to be taken to a local hospital where he was treated and then released. In Missouri, a generator fire killed 4 inmates in the Forsyth County Jail. Nearly 25 inmates were trapped in their smoke-filled cells. The electrical jail cell doors could not be opened. Nearly 100 firefighters fought this blaze. It started shortly before 4 a.m. 13 of the surviving prisoners were hospitalized. 11 firefighters were treated for smoke inhalation, and a short circuit may have been responsible for this fire. Here's a look now at some of the other stories making headlines around the world tonight. The Yugoslav army has attacked in Croatia. Army officials say they are attacking to keep their army units from being starved and destroyed by Croatian rebels. Both sides say they fear an increase in the fighting. These rebels have blockaded federal barracks and air bases in Croatia. More than 400 people have died in that fighting since Croatia declared independence in June. In South Africa, black and white leaders signed a peace agreement today to end raging township warfare. But outside, hundreds of Zulu warriors brought spears and clubs to the doors of the summit meeting while their opponents took to the streets around the building. The agreement, brokered by the church and business leaders, is the first to bring together the African National Congress, the Inkatha, and the government. Back here in Western New York, candles flickered in darkness tonight, keeping the memory alive of U.S. soldiers still missing in action in Indochina. This vigil in Dunkirk tonight was organized by Vietnam veterans who cannot let America forget the POWs and MIAs who still may be alive. They staged this vigil tonight, 6 days before the National Day of Remembrance, so the impact will be doubly felt in Western New York.
So we had hoped that everybody would not only pay attention to our ceremony, but the actual National Recognition Day on the 20th is coming Friday.